Pete Hines left Bethesda a couple of years ago, and recently he gave an interview where he basically trash-talked Microsoft, basically saying that Microsoft is ruining Bethesda. So in this video we'll discuss, is Pete right? Did Microsoft ruin Bethesda? And what does this mean for the Elder Scrolls 6? Is the Elder Scrolls 6 in danger? Because I have seen some creators agree with Pete, saying that yes, Microsoft is ruining everything, and basically blaming all the Bethesda issues on Microsoft. So first and foremost, let's see what Pete actually said, to determine if there's actually any truth to that. Quote, "I was staying there because this place still needs me. I just hit a point of yes, it needs me, and I'm powerless to do what I think needs to be done to run this place properly, to protect those people, to maintain what we worked so hard to create, which is an incredibly effective, well-run video game developer and publisher. And when I was unable to do what I thought my job should involve in continuing to have that place be, you know, if not the most effective publisher in the game industry, it was way the F up there. And when I couldn't protect it, and saw how it was getting damaged and broken apart, and frankly mistreated, abused, whatever words you want to use, I said, I'm not going to sit there and watch this happen right in front of me." End of the quote. So, is Pete right? Did Microsoft just came in and destroy Bethesda? Well, he kinda is right and wrong at the same time. And to understand how it is even possible in the first place, we need to know who Pete is. Because some people may think that he is some kind of developer, designer or something like that. Someone like Todd Howard, but no. So as you see in his LinkedIn, basically his whole life he has been a marketing guy. Now with that in mind, we can see how Pete is kinda right. Because Microsoft absolutely destroyed Bethesda as a publisher. Like it doesn't exist anymore. Imagine that you're a pizza guy and your place stops selling pizza. The same happened to Bethesda after Microsoft bought them. And that's exactly what happened to Pete. Like, Pete is right. Before that, Bethesda was a huge publisher. They had their own day on E3. They published games like Dishonored, Doom, Prey, Evil Within, Wolfenstein. So Bethesda was up there as a publisher. So when Pete says that Microsoft destroyed Bethesda as a publisher, he is kinda right, because you don't see those games being released anymore. Like, those franchises are now dead. However, here's where Pete is wrong. Yes, maybe Microsoft did kill Bethesda as a publisher, but they weren't the one who started the process. They ended it. What I mean is that you can't blame Microsoft for everything, because how would you explain Wolfenstein Youngblood, Rage 2, Deathloop, and in general the quality of all games related to Bethesda was declining. So yes, Microsoft did kill Bethesda as a publisher, but they weren't the one who started the process. Bethesda did. Now that we have talked about Bethesda as a publisher, let's talk about Bethesda as a developer. Because Pete said, well-run video game developer and publisher. So he also meant Bethesda as a developer. So, did Microsoft ruin Bethesda as a developer? And how will it affect the Elder Scrolls 6? And here the situation is even worse. And no, I don't mean that Microsoft ruined Bethesda. On the contrary, I mean that the quality of the games developed by Bethesda has been declining since long before the quality of the games published by Bethesda has been declining. So, pretending that Bethesda was a great company and the evil Microsoft came in and ruined everything is wrong. Bethesda didn't release a game that was a 10 since 2011. Actually, Bethesda didn't release any game under Microsoft authority yet. And yes, I know that Starfield came out in 2023, but it was in production since long before Bethesda was acquired. So no, it doesn't count. Anyway, if you want to hate Microsoft, you're free to do so. I'm not here to defend them. What I'm trying to say is 1. Bethesda was already in ruins. And 2. It has nothing to do with the production of the Elder Scrolls 6. So it won't affect the Elder Scrolls 6 in any way. Was Pete a good marketing guy? Yes, Bethesda had good marketing. I just don't like when people glorify some old ex-game developers who created good games in the past, when now they actually speak nonsense. Like for example Bruce Nesmith, or in this case Pete Hines. People kinda ignore that they didn't make a good game for a very long time, and they paid too much attention to their words. Again, Pete wasn't completely wrong, but also not completely honest. Now, I appreciate you being here and listening to this, but to be a certified GOAT you have to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. I have a lot of Bethesda related videos, and videos on a broad variety of video game topics. For example, a video about Japanese game development, different tops, like top of video game bosses, an analysis of video game companions, and a discussion of whether games are art. I have everything you need, so subscribe now to not lose it. And see you in my other videos.